We're in Moscow at the offices of Russian conglomerate Basic Element, and we're speaking with the Deputy CEO in charge of Human Resources, Victoria Petrova. Victoria, welcome to INSEAD Knowledge. Basic Element is by any standards huge. You have 250,000 employees on 5 continents, more than 100 companies in 8 sectors. You generate 1% of the country's GDP. As the person in charge of human resources for this conglomerate, what's your biggest challenge?
My biggest challenge is actually to introduce change because of the, greatness of the organization, because of its size, and because of all the people actually work in 240,000 people work in Russia out of 250,000. But we also have operations and production facilities in Latin America, in the States, in Western Europe, in Asia, in Africa, in Australia. So you can imagine how difficult it is, because you have to communicate with people, you have to set goals, you have to bring on board the corporate culture, which is introduced by the head office. And due to all this diversity and due to the size, due to many challenges that we have in our different businesses, change management represents a significant challenge.
What tools do you use to implement change? Video conferencing?
We do. We do a lot of video conferencing, but not only this. Last year we introduced our internal communications portal. We have a special space on the internet which devoted to our employees, to the challenges, professional problems, and sometimes even personal problems of our employees.
How big is your team? It must be huge.
Yeah, it's huge. It's several thousand people actually across all the operations.
Tell us a little bit about the way this conglomerate Basic Element is actually organized. Which sectors are you in? Are there plans to simplify the structure?
The structure is very simple. We have a lot of production enterprises. This is the decision of our shareholder and owner, Oleg Deripaska, that we mainly invest in the production businesses. Mm-hmm. We have automotives, we have mines and metals, we have energy, we have timber processing, we have construction, we have some other things. But as you can see, there are very few businesses related to IT, to some new fashionable things, which are on the table today. This is his decision actually, and we follow this decision. And I can tell you that it's very simple. We have several holdings, and holdings are united, and they are headed by a sector. Because of the size of the organization, it has to be very carefully managed.
Basic Element, as we said, employs 250,000 people. You created 15,000 new jobs in the last 15 years, and recently the company announced plans to create tens of thousands more jobs between now and 2025. Okay, so where and how are you finding employees, and where are these new jobs going to be?
This is a pretty easy question, because for 10 years now we introduce and create production systems on all of our plants. You probably heard or maybe read that during the Soviet era we had a special law, a special legislation that every single person, grown-up person in the Soviet Union has to be employed. So our plants and production facilities were built in the way that to employ all the people, not in the way what's effective, not taking into consideration where the effectiveness is and how to actually lead this business effectively. So we had a huge excessive number of people when I actually joined the company. I was with Rusal for 10 years, and I joined the company back in 2001. And we had excessive number of people, and we had to deal with that. So we had to retrain people and whoever was redundant, we had actually to retrain them and to provide them with some other job. So still, this is partially the case at present. 12 years later, we have some people which probably due to the modernization of our facilities, due to introduction of principles of Toyota production system and stuff like that. People are made redundant, but we create new opportunities for them. We build new plants. For example, Boguchansk electroaluminium amalgamation, which we do in Siberia, in Krasnoyarsk region, which will employ about 5,000 people. So this is a huge production facility which is on the way.
How would you describe the state of the talent pool in Russia today compared to 5 or 10 years ago? What training and support do you offer employees?
We provide a lot of trainings actually to our employees, but this is what I can influence on. But if we take Russia as a whole, as a country, I can tell you that we have a very strange situation with talent pool. When I participate in many professional let's say, competitions when people try to elect the best professional in the field of HR, in the field of production systems, in the field of finance, PR, whatever. And I can tell you that over the 10 years I see the same faces, same leaders, same champions in these professional areas.
You don't look happy about that?
Yeah, I'm not happy about that because, for example, me, I was champion in several competitions like that. But what does it say? It says that we have no new faces. We have no new people. New generation doesn't come, pretty quickly, as quick as we want it to come. And another observation which I have is young people tend to be self-employed, tend to be entrepreneurs. They don't actually want to be employed by someone, even by huge companies. So this is our challenge. This is what we have to work with. Actually, we have a special program for the young professionals who wants to be, develop their career within Bazovый element. Routinely, we move people from enterprise to enterprise. We actually can move people from business to business, so they are not stuck or glued to one place. Actually, we can provide them a lot of opportunities within the group, and therefore we are attractive. But I can tell you that I feel the problem which may arise. Actually, we have our talent pool throughout Russia does not increase.
What happens to it?
I don't know. Maybe the most active people go abroad. We have a lot of possibilities, and you know pretty well that over the decades we've lived behind the Iron Curtain. So now it's a genuine interest to go somewhere, to be educated abroad, to get some job abroad, to get some new experience.
You yourself participated in some management training at INSEAD. When were you there, and what was the program?
It was people management. It was back in year 2003. My program director was Paul Evans, and if I can thank Paul for this wonderful course, because it structured my knowledge and experience which I had by then. And basically, during every course, INSEAD gives its students inside books, and it was empty when it was given to me. And it was 100% full when I left the class, because I have a lot of insights, a lot of ideas, a lot of things which I planned to do when I go back to my working place.
In 2009, Basic Element went through crisis management to lower costs, reschedule debt, increase efficiency, as many companies did at the same time. What was your role in that?
I had a significant role in that because we had to decrease expenses dramatically, and you know that the easiest way to decrease expenses is decrease personnel and salaries and stuff. But we couldn't be irresponsible, so we tried to actually make this very unpleasant change. I was in Rusal that time, and we actually decreased all the administrative and personnel costs of the managing company by 70%.
70%?
70%, yeah. It's a huge figure. We actually fired some people, not some, but a lot. But we didn't know then what the market situation will be. So we had to actually help our people to get adapted to this new situation. A part of the living allowances which we provided training, we provided consultation on how to find new jobs actually, and tried to keep our best people, and that's how the company went through this very, very hard period. But not only this. We decreased all administrative costs, I mean costs of offices and all the expenses related to daily routine. And we learned to earn more during the crisis time. We increased 2 times our margin in sales, and it was during crisis. But the prices for aluminium were very low, and they're still very low. So for Rusal, it's not the best time, not the luxury time for this company. But nevertheless, we went through this crisis and learned a lot, and became stronger maybe.
What did you learn from that? If you had to do it again now, what would you do differently?
I would act quicker
Quicker.
than we did, yeah, because it's an experience. So we know now the slightest indicators which we should follow of the unfavorable market conditions. So we don't wait and hope that the situation may improve by itself. We have to act very quickly. We have to be proactive. We have to maybe write not on one version of a business plan, but 2 or 3. The best business plan, the best which we can achieve, and the doomsday scenario, which everything goes wrong.
Basic Element is owned by one of the world's richest men, entrepreneur businessman Oleg Deripaska. What's it like to work for him?
It's very pleasant actually. I worked for him for 12 years now. He was the general director of Rusal and employed me 12 years ago. And then he stepped down from this post, but nevertheless we were in communication all these years, and about 2 years ago I joined Bazovый Element and still work under his direction. And I can tell you that he's a very interesting person. 3 things I would like to emphasize maybe that I learned with him. You have to be productive, you have to work hard, and his advice to all of us is develop, acquire new experience, do what you can do your best. Another thing is be nice and be loyal to your people. Think about people, think about problems which may arise for them and help them. Don't be selfish, don't concentrate your efforts only on what you need. Think how your actions and how your decisions will affect others. And the third thing is he loves Russia. He loves his homeland. We work in 23 countries of the world, but nevertheless our majority of our assets, majority of our enterprises are in Russia.
What's been your biggest success? As you look back on your career, what are you most proud of?
I worked hard actually. What I did, I worked a lot. I tried to be honest, integral in what I'm doing. I tried to develop myself and others. And I always was open and frank with the people I work with. If I told to someone that I will fire 10% of the employees, I would fire exactly 10% of the employees. I'm convinced in what I'm doing, and I try to bring the organization to the peak of its effectiveness, and each person in the organization to the peak of his or her effectiveness. That's what I do.
And any advice for other women who might be in a similar position, although I can't imagine there are very many?
Women in similar position have similar experience. Believe me, no advices for them. For those who start their career, who want to be actually in a business, I can tell that it's a hard way, but it's very rewarding. You will have a lot of interesting and enriching and new experiences in your life. Just try to do it. Just make a step.
Victoria Petrova, thank you very much for being with us on INSEAD Knowledge.
Thank you very much.